The story begins late at night when WWE superstar Kane returns to the all-coveted WWE city. He runs into pro wrestler The Miz, who is out late jogging alone. Kane decides to ignore The Miz and head toward WWE City. The Miz continues jogging when he suddenly runs into Ghost Bear in the woods. He tries wrestling it but is outmatched. One punch from the bear sends him flying out of his clothes. He climbs a road sign hoping to escape the bear, but it tore it down, bringing The Miz down and unconscious. Later that night, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo played the latest WWE video game as superstars John Cena and Sin Cara. After beating the game at the hardest level ever, they get a bonus stage for the victory dance. Scooby-Doo steps up to the plate and gets a perfect score. They are later awarded an all-expense-paid trip to WWE City by Mr. Vince McMahon, the president and CEO of WWE, promising them a week of fun and excitement culminating in ringside seats at WRESTLEMANIA. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo later meet with the Mystery Inc. gang members Fred Jones, Daphne Blake, and Velma Dinkley. They try to convince the others to take the trip with them, but when they refuse, Shaggy is forced to guilt them into agreeing by explaining how many times he and Scooby-Doo were forced to be the bait to catch some crazy mask-wearing villain. He even brought photos of said events to make his case. Still, the tip of the iceberg that made them agree was when Scooby-Doo was shaved to the bone to become the dancing hairless chihuahua to catch the ghostly Gordito of Guadalajara. On the way, they quickly run into car trouble when a raccoon suddenly shows up in the middle of the road when the van swerves into a ditch, trying to dodge it. Superstar John Cena, his trainer Cookie, and nephew Ruben suddenly show up to help them. John lifts the van out of the ditch when Scooby notices the raccoon stealing one of his snacks and chases after it. Scooby chases it through the forest when he is lured into a ravine. Out of nowhere, Old Man Bayard sends warning shots at Shaggy and Scooby, who are trespassing on his land. Cookie explains that they did not mean to trespass to make up for the earlier altercation. John offered them VIP seats for the live event. Later that night, the Mystery Inc. gang had front row seats at the live event. Big fans, Shaggy and Scooby are excited to see a tag team match between John Cena and Sin Cara versus The Big Show and Alberto Del Rio. John Cena immediately wastes no time and hits Big Show when Del Rio sneaks up from behind and hits him from outside the ring. Sin Cara helps his partner by jumping to the other side to take out Del Rio. Big Show lifts John into the air for a fireman carry drop, but he reverses and lifts Big Show and throws him outside the ring. Big Show re-enters the ring with a picnic table and hits John with it. Sin Cara is to the rescue and performs a tilt-a-whirl head scissors takedown. John regains his strength and performs a 5-knuckle shuffle and an avalanche to grab the win. Later, Mr. McMahon greets the audience and unveils the WWE Championship belt. The belt has been up for grabs ever since Kane's staggering defeat at the championship match, and he hopes to find a true champion to claim the belt in the main event at WrestleMania. Cookie invites the gang to go to the training camp where Sin Cara drives them in his convertible car. They later witness Triple H training with Cookie's nephew Ruben, who appears to be holding his own against a professional wrestler. While trying to settle in their cabin, Daphne and Velma witness Ruben and Cookie arguing. Ruben complains to Cookie as to why he would not help him get into WWE, but he explains that he doesn't want him to get hurt the same way he did, and urges him to focus on his studies instead. Later that evening, Scooby dreams of wrestling giant food monsters when Shaggy wakes him up after climbing the back of the violent Ghost Bear. When Scooby finally comes around and realizes it, he and Shaggy run away when the professional wrestlers wake up and confront the bear. Sin Cara jumped at the bear, furious for wrecking his car. Brutus Clay and Triple H lunge at it, but the bear overpowers them. When other wrestlers show up, the bear lifts the car and throws it at a water tank, where it explodes, to which Ghost Bear disappears without a trace. The next day, the Mystery Incorporated gang is confronted by Miss Richards, Mr. McMahon's assistant and head of security. When asked what they're doing in WWE City, Shaggy explains that they won the contest in the video game. She informs him that several bear attacks have terrorized them over the past few weeks. Mr. McMahon walks in on their conversation. and hires Mystery Incorporated to solve their problems. Miss Richard claims she doesn't need their help and assures him that the belt is well guarded 24/7 with a state-of-the-art electronic laser tripwire alarm. She is confident that the bear wouldn't be able to get to it without setting off the alarm, which would bring half of her guards to secure it within seconds. Later, John brings the gang to meet Sin Cara, who awaits them on the rooftop. He claims that Sin Cara knows the legend of the bear better than anyone, and although he cannot speak, John offers to translate Masked Luchador. The legend of the ghost bear went back 100 years ago and began with a monstrous bear named Vicious as part of a traveling show. The creature had a mean streak and had never been eaten before until it met Sin Cara Grande, Sin Cara's great-great-great-grandfather. He challenged the bear on the spot before there was a WWE city. Although it was a horrible, unstoppable beast, Sin Cara Grande finally defeated it. Furious over his defeat, the bear could not contain its anger and broke free from its chains. It then lashes out at the citizens. Unleashing its rage on the town, Sin Cara Grande confronts the bear and defeats it yet again, but was injured when trying to save the innocent townsfolk. Sin Cara Grande would never wrestle again while the bear escaped into the woods and disappeared into a cave north of town. Never to be seen again until now, Sin Cara believes that the bear's spirit has been stirred by WRESTLEMANIA, which is why the monster has risen from the grave to have its revenge. Shaggy and Scooby return to their cabinet that night with several pizza boxes, claiming it to be their late midnight snack, which helps them sleep. Scooby later wakes up from sleep and goes to the window, where he sees flashing lights. The following day, Miss Richards and a few of her security detail knock on Shaggy and Scooby's cabin. She explains that the WWE Championship belt has been stolen, and claims that Scooby stole it after being caught with it around his waist. She even shows them the video footage of Scooby bypassing the lasers, and catches him red-handed stealing the belt, which is undeniable proof. While the guards are taking away Scooby, Velma realizes something is amiss from the video and claims they must work fast if they were to save Scooby. Later, Velma calls in everyone at the ring, including Mr. McMahon, to prove Scooby is innocent. By placing the video footage and Scooby's victory dance side by side, they establish that both videos have the same movement, suggesting that he was in a deep state of hypnosis. Velma suspects that Scooby had been hypnotized to steal the championship belt. Ruben explains that while playing the video game, someone highlighted every move of the victory dance with light flashes, which planted a post-hypnotic suggestion in Scooby's brain. Although they presented compelling evidence, getting a massage not, Mr. McMahon insists on going with the facts, to which Shaggy is dragged complicit in the crime as his accomplice. Given that it was his video game, when Miss Richards starts talking about jail time, Mr. McMahon interrupts and claims, "WWE city law states that anyone accused of a crime can compete in the ring to win their freedom." He claims he has the power to give him that chance, but the downside is that he only has one competitor left looking for a match: the revenge-driven Kane, who has always been looking for a comeback. Velma accepts Mr. McMahon's offer and prepares for their match with Kane. Velma convinces Cookie to help train Shaggy and Scooby to at least survive the match while buying the gang enough time to solve the mystery. Cookie calls professional wrestler AJ Lee to help with their training. Later, Ruben opens up to Daphne, who is irritated at his uncle for agreeing to train Shaggy and Scooby, but not him. He claims that he has always dreamed of becoming a WWE superstar, and even created his own identity as the Bone Bender, with his matching outfit. Later that night, the gang returns to the woods and quietly sneaks around, hoping to avoid the wrath of Old Man Bayard. Bayard catches them trespassing and unleashes a rock slide on them. When they find themselves cornered by the cliff's edge with a huge boulder coming at them, John Cena arrives and pushes it aside to save them. They later arrive at a bear cave where Velma suspects the ghost bear is hiding. As they venture deeper into the cave, they find a hideout with books on hypnotism, which Daphne suspects were used on Scooby. John also discovers schematics of an electromagnetic pulse, or EMP for short, to shut down devices within range. Out of nowhere, Ghost Bear shows up and knocks out John. The gang runs away while Fred uses his camera's flash to get a head start. As the bear chases them around in the cave, they return to where they started. Fred blows up a hole in the cave with an air tank and water starts flooding the cave. They later come to a waterfall into a storm drain when John wakes up and throws the bear over the cliff while they all fall under. They later find an exit that opens back to the city, to which Velma explains how the bear comes and goes unnoticed given that the caves are connected to the city's storm drains. The next day, they present all their discoveries to Miss Richards and urge them to cancel WrestleMania. Still, she insists on proceeding with the event while having armed guards protecting the stadium's generators during the event. Given that management decided to carry on with the event, Fred suggests turning it into a trap for the Ghost Bear. The show must go on, so Shaggy and Scooby are forced to face Kane in the ring as wrestlers Skinny Man and Dead Meat. Only when Shaggy pointed out to Scooby that he could beat Kane by thinking of it as a video game, given that he had memorized all of the wrestling moves. Velma suspects the EMP device is behind the fake belt in the safe. She proved it was a fake belt using magnets, which she explains would only react if it was iron and not if it was the real belt made of gold. With seconds left on the timer, John Cena tries to get rid of it but fails. The EMP device activates and shuts off the generator below them, taking out the power in the entire building. Right on cue, Ghost Bear shows up to wreak havoc and cause panic while the power is down. Fred came prepared with a plan and lights up green pyrotechnics around the stadium with the help of pro wrestlers. Meanwhile, Triple H is standing outside with electric power trucks that brought the power back to the building before the pyrotechnics ran out. With the power back on, Ghost Bear tries to escape, but Fred closes the door on its escape, leaving only one open, which was back to the stadium. Out of nowhere, Ruben, aka the Bonebender, shows up to confront the bear and wrestles him back to the stadium, where they are flung towards the ring, knocking Kane as the bear lands on top of him. Fred then initiated the last part of his plan and enclosed the ring in a steel cage, trapping Ghost Bear inside it with Sin Cara, John Cena, Kane, and Ruben forcing it into a cage match. John immediately lunges at it, but it throws Ruben at him. Sin Cara shows his skills as he swiftly glides around the bear, taking quick shots at it when John recovers and lifts it before slamming it back to the ground. When the bear fights back and knocks out John and Sin Cara, Scooby grabs a pail of water to wake Kane, who is unconscious. Kane then drives the bear down with a stunning blow while pinning down its leg. John, Sin Cara, and Ruben also help pin down the monster, while Scooby makes the final blow by delivering a grueling belly bomb that levels the stage and knocks out the bear. After securing the bear, they unmask it to discover it was Cookie behind the mask, which Velma explains to have resented WWE after incurring an injury that ended his career. Eventually, his resentment grew to hatred as he trained others to be what he could not. He then plotted his revenge to commit the perfect crime by hypnotizing Scooby to steal the championship belt and tarnish the organization's reputation. Velma deduces that Cookie wears the actual belt. McMahon then offers Ruben a spot on the WWE roster while awarding the championship belt to Skinny Man and Dead Meat, who showed bravery in all of this. The crowd then goes wild and chants Scooby's name. The end. Thank you for watching. Please check out our other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap that bell icon to be notified about our latest videos. We'll see you next time.